He inherited a house from a grandfather he never met. It stood alone on a hill, surrounded by dead trees. The front door was unlocked, as if waiting for him. Inside, everything was covered in thick layers of dust. He found old portraits, but none showed his grandfather's face. The basement door creaked open by itself the first night. He didn't go down, not then. Strange knocking started every night at exactly 2:33 a.m. He checked the doors and windows. Nothing was outside. One night, he shouted, "Who's there?" into the darkness. The knocking stopped only to begin again from inside. He found scratch marks behind the grandfather clock. They were deep, like from nails or claws. He started having dreams of a man with no face. The man whispered in reverse, he couldn't understand him. Each morning, he woke with dirt under his fingernails. One day, he found an old key in his pillowcase. It matched a small metal box locked in the attic. Inside the box was a letter in shaky handwriting. It read, "Don't trust the mirrors. They remember him." He looked around and realized the house had many mirrors. None of them showed his reflection quite right. In one, he blinked, but his reflection didn't. He smashed it, but the glass bled instead of breaking. That night, he heard footsteps in the attic. When he checked, the door was open and cold air poured out. He felt watched, even though the room was empty. Then he saw it, another version of himself in the mirror. It smiled, even though he didn't. He ran, but every room now had a mirror. They all showed different versions of him, some cruel, some terrified. One mirror showed him sleeping peacefully, but he was awake. He covered the mirrors with blankets and towels. Still, he heard whispers echoing from behind the glass. He called a priest, who refused to enter the house. "This place remembers," the priest said. "More than you ever will." He researched his grandfather and found nothing in public records. The town's oldest librarian looked at him with pity. "He came back once," she said, "but it wasn't really him." Back home, he saw the mirror in his hallway was uncovered. His reflection waved before he did. That night, he chained the basement door shut. But the next morning, the chain was inside the basement. He knew he had to go down. The stairs were longer than before, stretching into the dark. He used his phone light, the signal vanished. At the bottom was a stone room with no doors. In the center, a mirror stood on a black altar. His reflection there was younger and smiling. It whispered, "You left me down here." He stumbled back, heart racing, but there was no way out. Then the walls started closing slowly, silently. He screamed, but the sound died before reaching the ceiling. The mirror cracked, and he fell into darkness. He woke in his bed, the house silent again. But his reflection still smiled when he didn't. Everything felt almost normal, but not quite. He called his sister. She said he died last year. He checked his ID, it was blank. He tried leaving the house but always ended up back inside. The clock stopped at 2:33 a.m. permanently. The mirrors no longer showed anything, just blackness. Every night, someone knocked from inside the walls. He knocked back once, and something knocked twice in return. He stopped sleeping. He no longer dreamed. His eyes darkened, his voice changed. One night, the reflection stepped out of the mirror. It looked more alive than him. The reflection said, "You're free now," and walked out the door. He ran to the mirror, but it was empty. Now he waits in the glass, trapped and forgotten. When someone moves into the house, he watches silently, waiting for them to see him and trade places. Because the house never lets anyone leave completely. It only lets someone else come in. And the mirrors always remember every face they've ever kept. He began talking to the mirrors, hoping for a response. Sometimes, they whispered back, but never in his voice. One night, the mirror called him by his childhood nickname. He hadn't heard it in years, and never told the house. He smashed another mirror, but shards crawled back into place. He burned one, but it returned in the morning unharmed. He tried writing a letter to himself and placed it outside. The next day, it returned, written in blood and reversed. He found a photograph under the floorboards. It showed him, smiling. But the photo was dated 50 years before he was born. He marked days on the wall, but they vanished overnight. His voice sounded hollow, like it echoed from far away. The shadows in the corners moved when he blinked. He laughed once, and something else laughed with him. One day, he stopped casting his shadow altogether. He watched through the mirror as another man approached the house. He screamed, warning him, but the mirror swallowed his voice. The door opened for the new man, just like before. And the house prepared to remember him too.